Hi, buddies. Let me begin with some background to the topic of Rajinikanth in Japan. Okay, seems like a weird combination, right? Two cultures separated by, besides the huge sea. Totally, totally, you would not connect those two cultures as different as can be, except for certain things like both are in Asia, and Buddhism is something that is sort of known well in both cultures. Okay, now to digress, I just want to, as I said, go to the background a bit. The Malayalam hero Mohanlal and the actress Shobana seem to be a recurring theme because besides the film Muthu of Rajinikanth, which became very famous in Japan in 1998. There's another film of Rajinikanth that became very famous in the year around 2004, these times, called Chandramogi, which was actually a comeback film for Rajinikanth after the flop film called Baba. He took a break for a few years and came back with a huge hit. And this film, Chandramogi in Tamil, was actually a remake of Malayalam film starring Mohanlal and Shobana, right? Again, the same pair. And of course, Rajini himself has acted with Shobana in the 80s film Siva, which was a nice movie with Raghuvaran in it, and as well with the legendary film called Talapati, directed by Mani Ratnam. So, for those, I don't know, people living under a rock who have not seen Talapati, the film Talapati with Rajinikanth, Shobana, Mammootty, directed by Mani Ratnam, please do so for the young Gen Z people, right? It's a classic. And of course, the hero Vijay, who took a lot of things inspired by Rajini, also took the title Talapati from this film. Okay, so Mohanlal and Shobana film gave the inspiration to Chandramukhi and also gave the inspiration to the film Muthu. So Rajinikanth, one of his biggest tropes is taking existing movie like Annamalai was from a Hindi film as well. Many of his films are Amitabh Bachchan films from Bollywood. So it's like, let's say you buy a plain bread at the shop, right? And then you add some butter to it, maybe add some, I don't know, tuna, or some people like sugar or whatever, and then it really enhances that bread into a sandwich. So what Rajinikanth does is basically his team basically takes a movie, original movie in India. But if you were to see the original movie and see the Rajini version of it, you can see all the added extra ingredients. Some people remake films 100%. Some remake films in a worse way than how it was in the beginning. But the thing about Team Rajini is that usually they really enhance a film into a more tight, more action-packed, more comedy feel, more stylistic version of the original. So whether you want to criticize it for lack of originality or celebrate it for its addition of entertainment factor to other stories, it's up to you. So what happened was, with this weird cultural crossover, is that probably technology plays a role, because nowadays it's easy for you to have a digital version of the film and transmit it worldwide for it to be shown in any theaters, right? Compared to back in the day when physical film reels has to be moved about, maybe these kind of things are less likely to happen. So anyway, what happened was, if I'm not mistaken, the name is Jun Edoki, a Japanese film critic, who was in Singapore around the year 1996. The film Muthu was released in Tamil Nadu, India, and other countries like Singapore, Malaysia in the year 1995. So the year after that, this person, film critic, so happened to find this movie Muthu in Singapore in a video store, and was enamored by it. It was very entertaining, and Japan was having a recession at the time, so this person managed to convince Japanese movie distributors to show the film. It was shown in the Rise Theatre in Tokyo, ran for 20 plus weeks, collected about almost 1.6 million US dollars. So it was like a sudden shock to the system, like, what is this going on, right? This film is doing so well, and so they had a wider release, and it ran in apparently much more cinemas in Japan, and the full haul was almost 3 million US dollars. That's like a huge profit right there. And that record was held for almost about 24 years, until recently in 2022 the film RRR by Rajamouli broke that record. of course, everybody wants a Rajamouli and Rajinikanth combination, the two R's, but what are the odds, right? Because Rajini is now 74, 75 years old, and Rajamouli takes about 5 years to make each film. But for those who have seen that YouTube video of Rajamouli talking on stage about how he would make a Rajini film, how the crowd will go crazy, yeah, it is very, very tempting. But we do not know whether Rajamouli was sincere or he was just, playing to the gallery. Anyway, that's that. So, besides the popularity of the movie itself, it did create a small wave of Indian films going into Japan, although none of them did so well like Muthu did. Eventually, some films like RRR sort of broke through, and even the newer Rajini films are being released, like films like Jailer, in a limited basis. And also Rajini tried to incorporate some thing for his Japanese fans. In his film Baba, he had some scenes involving Japanese people inside there. And apparently the film Linga in 2014, which did not do that great in the box office, also had a planned scene in Japan. However, budget constraints, so that did not proceed. Interestingly, in the 80s, there was one Tamil film extensively shot in Japan, which was by Kamal. It was called Japan in Kalina Raman, which is kind of like a part 2 of his other film called Kalina Raman. So that happened. Intermittently there's been this crossover culture of Tamil Nadu and Japan happening. So after the success of Muthu, interestingly enough, see, one of the things about Rajini is that he is all about positivity. If you see Kamal films, a lot of times will end negatively, the hero will die, everybody will come home crying. But Rajini film is always about spirituality, positivity, and like a bright outlook of life. So in the Japan of 1998, that was something that really gave positivity, brought some people out of depression. Even you just read some of the articles in the web how the Japanese were influenced. And subsequently they developed a Tokyo Japanese fan club for Rajinikanth, which has about 3,000 members apparently. That's a decent number. And much smaller clubs spread in smaller towns of Japan, and they are quite enamored by this culture, this cacophony and chaos that is Tamil Nadu, loud horns and cows on the street and cow dungs and autos flying all around, lorries, that craziness that sort of is amusing to them, I think, compared to the very orderly, very structured way of Japan, which a lot of Indians also worship, because that's like what they aim to become more orderly and so on. So some of the fans have started to blend their interest in Rajini into Indian culture, and then on towards other things like doing small food business, selling Tamil Nadu food like sambar, dosa, these kind of things, doing any kind of handicraft work, and all the whole thing, the whole Indian culture thing. Just like other Southeast Asian countries like to imbibe Korean pop culture, right, watching their drama and so on. So there's this interesting subculture of people in Japan who in a reverse way imbibe Indian culture. So hopingly the producers in Tamil Nadu are not hyper budget conscious. If you look at Telugu producers, they are willing to pump in money for 5 years, 6 years. That's how we got films like Bahubali, and sacrifice and teamwork to create. But producers in Tamil Nadu seems to be very much short-term thinkers and very, very cost conscious. So hopefully in the future, Rajini and his team and his producers are able to film a bit more involving other countries, involving Japan, for example, to cater his fans there. So this way a superstar can grow in Japan as well. So what do you all think about this? Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.